Well, we are less than 2 weeks away from the primary elections to replace outgoing Wisconsin Democratic Governor Tony Evers. Last night, the candidates competing for the Democratic nomination squared off on the debate stage. They were asked about the deadly shooting of a black man by a Madison police officer last week. Now, all agreed that law enforcement should not be defunded.
The governor cannot defund police, and I'm not here to govern by slogan.
I would not sign a budget that reduced funding because obviously that police department needs the funding to have body cameras.
I want my kids and every kid to be safe in our communities, and I want law enforcement officers to be safe in our communities.
There's been a generation of disinvestment and a broken system between the state, the broken partnership between state and local government. And so we need to make sure that we're robustly funding that.
We cannot defund the police. We should be investing in public safety, and that doesn't mean more money to police officers. That's like investing in systems like the community violence interruption.
And the winner of the Democratic primary for Wisconsin governor will face off against presumptive Republican nominee Congressman Tom Tiffany in November. Let's bring in CBS News congressional reporter Taurean Small with more on this. Taurean, good morning. So we just saw all the Democratic gubernatorial candidates agree on one issue. What are the key issues they don't agree on?
Yeah, I think what was interesting about what we saw last night is this, vast field was really looking to distinguish themselves while not veering off too much. We've seen some of these same candidates in previous races before. Mandela Barnes obviously having the most name ID, considering he was the former lieutenant governor, and he ran for Senate not too long ago, unsuccessfully, though, I should add. But most of them made the case that they are largely in line with others, just small nuances. When it came to school vouchers, for example, a lot of them agreed that they wanted to see a phasing out of the programs, while others say they wanted to eliminate it outright altogether. We also saw with the issue of increasing taxes for the ultra wealthy. I believe it was Hong and Barnes who came up with a plan between 0.8% to 1% in tax increases for people who made over $1 million, while others expressed trepidation around enforcing that type of tax on people who would be big drivers to the economy. But ultimately, though, the biggest test that a lot of these Democrats will have to make is appealing to the masses come November. That was the strongest case against Mandela Barnes, considering he lost his race, and which is why we're seeing Tony Evers endorsing Crowley, who just re-entered the race after his current lieutenant governor just recently dropped out.
And Taurean, I want to ask about this. Last night, Democratic Socialist Francesca Hong made a point of separating herself from the Democratic Socialists of America. Take a listen to this.
I do not support the full platform of the National DSA, and I'm not endorsed by DSA National. What democratic socialism is a form of government that puts working class people first, that puts work first. The policies that we have been working on, permanent affordability, has broad bipartisan support in every corner of the state.
So, Taurean, what do we make of those comments, and can a Democratic Socialist win in battleground Wisconsin?
Yeah, I think it could be viewed as a strategic move. Again, Wisconsin is a bright purple state. It isn't one to necessarily rest on the polar sides of the political spectrum. And if she is pivoting to November, she has to make that case to independents and some moderate Democrats. And associating with the DSA, even though we're seeing across the country this surge in its popularity and its candidates' popularity, it might not resonate in Wisconsin. I have to point out, though, a recent Marquette University poll shows her leading, which is surprising, again, considering she's in the race with Mandela Barnes, who just was a candidate for a statewide race in the Senate. But ultimately, we'll see how it pans out. Still, about 40% of Democrats, according to that poll, are undecided at this point.
All right, Taurean Small in Washington, thank you.